Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Patholkis, and this is It Worth My Time, the Disenchantment edition. So, for those of you who don't know, Disenchantment is a show on Netflix, and it's got two parts to it. They don't call them seasons, they call them parts. So, yeah, that's what they've been calling it. And that's what I'm covering today. So before I get into that, let me get a little business out of the way first. If you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button down below. If you don't like what you see, you can hit the dislike button. I just ask you down in the comment section, tell me what it is you don't like. Give me some constructive criticism, some feedback, if you will. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below there. If you've already hit the bell, don't hit it again. It will unclick it. You can go to the bell settings, get as many or as little notifications as you want. You can also go to my website, suspendedfanimation.com, see the schedule up there. And that is also copied over on my Facebook page as well. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, and I also have a Patreon page, but no tiers until the end of the year. So there we go. Hey, Movie Fanobi. Hey, Joe. Sorry I'm a little bit late tonight, too. So we got this wildfire that's going on, brush fire nearby. As I was driving back home on the freeway, I'm seeing this plume of smoke, and I'm like, why in the fuck am I driving towards this thing? And so I'm trying to figure out whether or not they are evacuating us or not. I don't think they are. I think it's moving back out into the desert kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. It's moving towards the casino, and the casino's out in the middle of nowhere, which is good. Yeah. And there's gonna be no spoilers in this thing. I'll talk a little bit about the show, that kind of stuff, but hopefully you're safe with friends and family. Thoughts and prayers. No, I'm okay, Movie Fanobi. Like I said, I live in pretty much downtown is what it's called. I guess you can say, of a small town in the suburbs of San Diego, the whale's vagina, as the Germans called it before me. But yeah, it should be fine. If anything, that's what the insurance money's for. I mean, I kid. No. And let's see here. So, Disenchantment is an animated series, like I said, on Netflix. It is close to you, and oh, really? Okay, yeah. So, Disenchantment is an animated series. Matt Groening is the one who's involved with it, so it's that style of animation, kind of like Simpsons, Futurama, that kind of stuff. And it is basically set in a fantasy land, if you will, where you have Princess Tabini, is her name, or Bean for short, is kind of bored, and she doesn't get to do things that men get to do, that kind of stuff. And so she wants to go on adventures. And she meets an elf, and she also meets a demon. Yeah. And Lucy is the demon's name, and Elfo is the elf's name. And they kind of go out on adventures, that kind of stuff. The music actually is kind of cool. The theme music, it's done by Mark Mothersbaugh, and if that name sounds familiar, you know what you're talking about there, because that is actually the guy from Devo, one of the guys from Devo, and he went into doing musical scores, movies, TV shows, all that kind of stuff a long time ago. And I really dig his stuff. His TV credits and movie credits are actually really good. He really does have some good chops on this one. And actually, the theme song music for this is pretty good. So it's one of those few that I can actually listen to again and again and not get annoyed by it, because I always skip over the intro, and you always hear the last little bit of the music, that kind of thing. And it normally kind of annoys the shit out of me, especially when I'm watching like the DC Universe series stuff, and you skip over, but you still get that last little bit. But yeah, Joe Greer, he's actually pretty good. Mark Mothersbaugh has done everything from what was it? He did Rugrats. I think that's when he started off with, way back when. And he's been on a roll ever since. He's been doing, he does movies, TV shows, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, we're not talking about him on this. We were talking about the cast and everything. So the voice cast is Abby Jacobson for Bean. Eric Andre plays Lucy the Demon. Nat Faxon plays Elfo. John DiMaggio voices King Zog, who is Bean's father. David Herman is the Herald. We've got a couple other of the old Simpsons Futurama crew in here too. Billy West, Maurice LaMarche, Tress McNeil, things like that are in here. And they all do a good job. So for me, I was trying to figure out, is this really good, or is it just kind of what is it? There was something about this series that was kind of bugging me, and I finally figured it out this in the what they're calling part 2, which just came out on the 20th here. And it's they don't allow jokes to breathe. So they do the setup and the punchline like boom, like really quick and get it over with, and talk and they just kind of barf it out instead of allowing the joke a little bit of time to breathe. Because there's all about timing when you're doing comedy. Hey, Viking bitch. It's all about timing with comedy, right? You gave it a shot for a few episodes, Dante. Yes. Yeah, there are a lot of gags, a lot of sight gags. The elf stuff actually is kind of funny. There was a one thing, and I'm not spoiling anything, where in part 2, where Elf Town is coming to Dreamland, and all the elves are in a row and they're all marching back to Dreamland and they're all whistling the Hi Ho song. And Lucy the Demon goes, "Well, what did you know? Elfo's actually the cool elf because he doesn't whistle." And Elfo's like, "Yeah, whistling's for idiots. I like to hum." And that was actually well done because it was paced correctly. And that made me fucking laugh just because, you think he's cool for just a second. And then he becomes this fucking geek again by saying that he likes to hum, and he starts humming the Hi Ho song, which is funny. So there's just these little tiny things here and there that are funny. The overall story itself, not that great, tell you the truth. It could use a lot more work. And Bean isn't really a likable character, to tell you the truth. I was actually liking Lucy the Demon a lot more. And Lucy's pretty, does some pretty evil shit sometimes. And yeah. Let's just say there's a whole thing about going to hell in the second part, I guess you could say. And yeah, Lucy's betrayals in order to be promoted as a demon are pretty damn funny, but just then turning around right afterwards and betraying the demons as well. That was actually kind of funny. Like I said, you get some good comedy in there, you get some good bits, but overall, I don't, I can't recommend it. I can't say it's worth your time to go and watch it. If you're not really into the whole Fantasyland mystical stuff, unicorns, elves, dragons, all that kind of stuff, then yeah, it's probably not gonna be worth your time to watch it. So yeah, unfortunately, just go to Google News or MSN Frontage. What's that? What are you guys talking about here? Oh yes, I heard about all that stuff. Yeah, bad wrenches. Why? What's going on? Doesn't everyone want to pet Lucy? Yeah, so that's the other thing, Penn, is that everyone keeps thinking that Lucy's a cat, but with a forked tail, which is pretty funny, and a talking cat at that. Because Lucy is all black with a pointy tail and little horns and small, kind of an asshole. Yeah. And Elfo the elf, he's kind of a fuck up as an elf, really. All the elves are kind of a little bit demented. I did kind of, in part two, they kind of delve into the elves world just a little bit more, and you see, how demented they actually are. And I kind of wanted more of their story, to tell you the truth. I really didn't care about Bean's story. I didn't care about King Zog, anything like that. And yeah, it was kind of the side stuff was actually more interesting than the main story. And the main story doesn't know where it's really going either. You could tell that they had some interesting concepts and then kind of forgot about it. Are you going to feature the new Amazon Prime comic series Undone, or is it on its? I haven't seen it, Joe Greer, and I'm probably not going to, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that's coming out. But what I'm thinking of doing is, because there's so many CW shows, CWDC shows, I might do on Thursday nights um, a recap of the week of the DC CW shows. Yeah. So talking about Batwoman, Supergirl, Black Lightning, Flash, Arrow, because right now Legends of Tomorrow is on a hiatus until the crossover event. So yeah, there are 5. Yes, that's right. There's 5 series that are happening. So I figured I'd wrap them, instead of doing individual um episode reviews of that. I would just kind of wrap it into the DC CW hour, or whatever it's going to be, however long it is. Well, if you're watching them, it's not a bad idea. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna watch a movie Finobi. I mean, the thing is, I don't get to them the night of, because, quite honestly, they're not like must-watch stuff, especially Sunday nights. Sunday nights, I got Mr. Robot, and then of course Watchmen's going to happen 2 weeks after Mr. Robot premieres. Thanks, Keith. I'm going to need that luck. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Batwoman's going to be horrible. It's got what's her face in it, starring in it. I can't stand her, quite honestly, and yeah. If you need something for, is it worth my time? I recommend Prodigal Son. No, sorry, Tamarox. No. Yeah, I'm not doing the Fox dramas or anything like that. I can't. Yeah, I kind of gave up on a lot of the stuff that's on regular network TV. It's really yeah. Regular network TV is no bueno. Bat woke woman. The only Mr. Robot I've watched is the Roomba I don't own. Mufinobi. Yeah, you should watch Mr. Robot, Mufinobi. It's actually really damn good. Evil on CBS looks at. You mean, just why don't they just call it CBS? Why are they calling it Evil? We already know it. Was Passage? Yeah, Passage was the final straw, Pen. It was. Passage was so fucking horrible that I couldn't even make it past what was it, episode 3. That's how bad that was. I was sitting there just waiting for it. And I'm like, nope, not. I can't even go to. Normally I have a 4-episode rule. I couldn't even get past the 3rd episode. That's how bad it was. And I wasn't the only one, because that shit got canceled right away. Didn't get canceled as fast as Swamp Thing did. It should have. But yeah. I agree with you, Joe Greer, that Mr. Robot. That's why I'm interested to see what Sam Esmail does with Battlestar Galactica, this Battlestar Galactica remake. I won't pay to see it. I certainly will never pay to see that. I'm not going to pay for Peacock or whatever the hell it's called. But it's yeah. And I'm still amazed by the final episode. It was like a totally different show. Yeah. Yeah. And you saw the sci-fi element in it and all that stuff too. I mean, they're in Mr. Robot right now. It is a total sci-fi show. It is a complete and total sci-fi show. So, I did watch Homecoming on Prime. I liked it. It wasn't bad. I mean, it was messed up, but I liked it. Peacock-diculous, yeah. Yeah, it is Christian Slater's comeback role. I agree with you, Joe Greer. Yeah, he needed something to come on back into Hollywood. I mean, he was trying for a while there. There's some stuff he did with Fox that wasn't bad. It was decent, but it just didn't have any kind of lasting effect. Keith, it's on Epics, so no, it's not. Yeah, yeah. I'm not a big fan of the alternate programming sometimes. I mean, yeah, it's Sony. I wish Sony would just farm it out to whatever, like Hulu or whatever it is they need to farm it out to, not doing their own shit, quite honestly. Too many people, I should say, too many companies are bringing out their own streaming services, and they're just shooting themselves in the foot. They don't really realize this. They think that, oh, they have the end all be all of shows. They really don't, except for Disney Plus. Disney Plus is the only one that's got the end all be all of shows lined up and everything. And quite honestly, they're going to lay waste to a shitload of people, a shitload of, I should say, streaming services when it comes out. I I was making fun of it too. And no, I do not watch that, Joe Greer. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. And I tried watching like an episode of it and it bored me and I turned it off. Saw an ad for a new series. He's like a convict, serial killer, or something, helping his son solve crimes. Pretty sure it was him. Christian Slater? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did get sucked into the Disney vortex, Viking bitch. I mean, you throw a whole bunch of superhero shit at me like that and well done superhero shit, I'm in. You throw in some good Star Wars stuff too, like really well done Star Wars stuff. I'm not talking about J.J. Abrams and Rianne. No, I'm talking about, you bring in, John Favreau and stuff like that. I'm in the vortex. I'm surfing the vortex. Yeah. Yeah. Uh yeah, I saw the Amazon for some reason has been pushing Prodigal Son, and I read the synopsis and I think I fell asleep halfway through reading the synopsis of Prodigal Son. I think in halfway through the first sentence I was like, I went out. Yeah. Yep. So, back to Disenchantment. And so the other thing that's funny about Disenchantment, it's got a name that sounds easy, but for some reason it's very forgettable. I wanted to say Disenchanted, uh, enchantment, everything except for Disenchantment. Even though I know the name is actually fairly easy. So again, if you're gonna name something, name it well. Like suspended Fanimation. Make it something easy that rolls off the tongue. Make it something that people can actually remember, that kind of thing. Otherwise, if your story's not good or it's just kind of mediocre, and is a kind of gauge of things, then yeah, it's not going to stick in your fans' minds. And I honestly don't know how well it's doing or how poorly it's doing with Netflix, because Netflix hasn't released numbers, so no one knows. Do you think Disney Plus will go the way of DC Universe? Strong start, but not much lasting power? No. Uh, DC Plus or Disney Plus, DC Plus. Disney Plus is going to decimate quite a few things. DC Universe, that's all because of AT&T, Tamrock's. when Warner Brothers was owning it before they went through the whole DC, before the AT&T merger, that was the reason why it was strong. After the AT&T merger, AT&T is looking at this, and for some reason, AT&T is just depth charging the shit out of all their TV shows, all their TV holdings, I guess it is. DirecTV now, they blew the crap out of that one. They've lost 2.3 million viewers, something like that, or subscribers, and they're just bleeding more. They're talking about losing like another 250,000 subscribers. That's fucking ridiculous. And it's all because they kept, raising their prices and then cutting channels, raising their prices and cutting channels, and raising them ridiculous prices and cutting channels. And then they think they're going to bring people back in. I actually had, this is a true story. Yesterday, I'm walking through Costco, because I went into Costco on a weekday after work, and it was nice and quiet. It was really nice. And the DirecTV guy goes, "Excuse me, sir, can I talk?" And I'm like, "No." And he goes, "Can I ask why?" And I said, "Yeah, because you guys suck." I said, I dumped you guys," is what I told him. And he goes, "Oh, can I ask why?" I said, "Yeah, because you guys suck." And he's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah, that was the extent of it." I'm fairly brutal in real life too. Yes, I tell people what I think. The OA fans are protesting and unsubscribing Netflix for canceling Brit Marling's Bold Project. Yeah, how many OA fans are there out there though, Joker, that are unsubscribing? What is there, like 50,000? They I don't know what the quantification of that is. Yeah. So I always hear this stuff about people saying, "Oh, we're gonna band together and we're gonna boycott something, or we're gonna unsubscribe from something." And it's like, okay, give me some numbers then. I want to know some numbers. Tell me. And if you can't tell me what those numbers are, then your protest or your boycott is worthless, quite honestly. And yes, Netflix does suck at marketing. Completely sucks at marketing. Unless you live in San Francisco, and then it's on the side of every fucking bus that goes by. It's really funny. When I lived in San Francisco, they had Netflix advertising on the sides of buses for everything, on billboards, things like that. You come out here to like Southern California, you don't see shit. You don't see commercials for anything. I mean, I have to troll news services in order to find out what's coming on. But props to Netflix for bringing Drake for bringing back Top Boy. I don't know what that is either. Sorry, I'm old, Joe Greer. I'm old. I don't know what that stuff is. That newfangled crap. He's in the trailer, but only lists him in the pilot. Okay. Yeah, I keep seeing, I kept seeing the OA or the OA or however the fuck they want me to say it, on Netflix, and it's never enticed me to get into it, quite honestly. It's sci-fi. I should want to get into it, but then again, Another Life was supposed to bring me into it too, and I spent an hour in that first episode wondering why I was watching this. And yeah, I couldn't even get through an entire season of that. I couldn't get through 2 episodes of it. So yeah, Disenchantment, not really. I can't recommend it, quite honestly. It's not worth your time. It really is not. Uh, I mean, other than the music, like I said, the music's really good. The animation's decent, but the story isn't there. And the jokes, again, they need to allow the jokes to breathe. That was what hurt it most. And I realized that was really what did it for me, is when you're rushing through the jokes and you're not allowing them to have a little time to settle in. be at home, that kind of thing. What's the worst show you watch an entire season of? The Gifted. Yeah, I would say The Gifted. It's followed close by Agents of Shield, and they're both Marvel properties. Quite honestly, which is sad. I mean, yeah, like I said, when it's really bad, I just bail on it completely. But actually, The Gifted I didn't finish completely. I'll say that much. I think I had 3 more episodes to go before it got canceled. I never. You said that I watched all the way through Penn. I never watched all the way through to the Inhumans. I think I skipped a couple episodes and I went to the final episode because it didn't make any difference at that point. They had already been canceled, and I watched it and I was like, "Yeah, okay, there's the end." Cloak and Dagger. No, Movie, that's your secret show. You know you love it. You know what? You should start a channel, Movie, and call it the Cloak and Dagger. I love Cloak and Dagger is what you should call it. Ah, true, but still, Agents of Shields has some moments. Okay, I'm not calling it, something that you guys shouldn't be watching. It's just for me, um, when it started off. If you go back and watch season 1 of Agents of Shield, and they are tying in the movies to this stuff, and they are trying hard to tie in the movies, and then you see at some point they go into a free fall because all of a sudden Kevin Feige's like, he kind of raises his middle finger to Jeff Loeb and Ike Perlmutter and breaks away from them and no longer gives them access to any of his movie characters and says, this is no longer part of the MCU. That's where it really, you can see the change that happens. And it's not even, it's not even Netflix Marvel good. I would say that Iron Fist is actually better. I hate to say it. Yeah. Yeah. I know them's fighting words on that one. The stunts and fight choreography, it's honestly, I keep saying the same moves over and over again, Joe. So yeah, it kind of blurred out. Let's put it this way: I get up in the middle of an Agents of Shield episode when it's on because I was watching it on. It was on Netflix. That's right. And I get up in the middle of it. I go and make some food or something like that, or go and mow the lawn, or you know, go and give the dog a bath or something like that, and come back, and I haven't really missed anything. And yeah, that's for me. By the way, you guys like it, that's great, but for me, yeah, it just it's lost a lot of luster, a lot of luster. Uh, yeah, Joe, it can actually, the 13 episodes that they have could be condensed into a 2-hour uh TV movie, and I think you'd be okay. You'd still get the same payoff. Slap a like on this shit. Really? You don't like my shit? And good night, movie for Nobi. You're gonna go finish season 3 of Glow. Nice, because you know what? Thursday, Is It Worth My Time is going to be Glow. The now canceled Glow, which has one more season left. It's season 4 of Glow, which is probably happening next year. And it's not my fault. because I didn't review it. I just talked about it, that I was watching it. That's all I said. And I said I liked it. So Joe, like I just said, Thursday is It Worth My Time? The Glow edition. Friday is Titans, episode 4 of season 2. Saturday is Saturday Morning Blast Off. Sunday is the season and series finale of Preacher on AMC. And then we start this craziness all over again. Yeah. And like Penn just showed you right there, my schedule is up on suspendedfanimation.com. Yeah. Save Jason Todd. Yeah. And the funny thing is, they could have made Jason Todd in this series a lot more jerkier like he was in the comics. If you go back and read the old comics that had Jason Todd in it, he was an asshole. I mean, a total asshole. And so Jason Todd died because there was a 900 number voting whether or not he was going to live or die. And people overwhelmingly voted for him to die in the DC universe because he was hated that much. Yeah. This is back when they had the 900 number things and charging $1.99 to call in and give a yes or no vote. Talk about a scam. Damn, that was a big scam. But yeah. So with that said, if you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're still on the fence about joining up at the very end here, you're going to see a video pop up here. And it's going to take a video from my vast video library and basically match it with whatever you're watching in the algorithms there. And we'll pop it up there for you. Up here is going to be, God, what was it? Oh, Preacher. Preacher is going to be up there. How many times did I call? I'll never tell, Penn. But there's a reason why I have a lot of debt. Yeah. Crank yankers. Uh-huh. Yeah. And that's right. We do have a Facebook group as well. So you can come on in and you can talk amongst yourselves. You can post stuff as long as it's respectful. And also the talking amongst yourselves too. Be respectful of each other. As I just went through and slammed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. For everybody who actually liked it, I'm sure I'm going to get a whole bunch of hate comments below in the comment section for it. So respectful, does something change? It was worth a shot, Penn. I figured, why not? There's always a first time. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little bit on the loopy side. Like I said, I've got, I got the fire thing happening here. And then also at work, we've got just shit tons of stuff happening. So, yeah, Alfonso Mack, he is, I hate his character, Joe. I seriously hate his character. I don't know what it is about his character that I don't like, but it's just one of those things that I was like, really? So you're making him director of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Yeah, you really just want to make it so I never watch this show. Oh, no, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has some very rabid fans, Penn. Yes, it is a mindless watch, but yes, there are totally rabid fans. Now, they are not to Rick and Morty levels, but yes, there are a few out there that are pretty rabid. Yeah, I would say they're more along the lines of Steven Universe rabid fans. Yeah, I find almost every show has at least one rabid fan. Oh yeah. And there's my Rick and Morty fan right there. I have a friend who refuses to admit that The Gifted was a pile of steaming crap. Yeah, Tamarocks. There's a lot of people that refuse to admit that. The Gifted was bad. The Gifted was very bad. I still say to this day that they use stock footage from Knight Rider in some of those episodes, especially the ones with the cars where they had the cars jumping and stuff like that. I think they use stock footage from Knight Rider. I still say that to this day, but it was all grainy and looked like shit. And I think actually it went from widescreen into the 4:3 ratio when they did it and everything. I kid, I kid. It probably should have though. Did anyone watch the Knight Rider reboot? Uh, which one, Joker? There's been like two of them. I take that back. There was a reboot, and then there was a movie. Yeah, and they were both horrible. Yeah, they were almost as good as that Fox Nick Fury uh, TV show with, or was it the TV movie with David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury? Yeah, if you ever want to see something really horribly bad, that's out there someplace. Yeah. Oh, so with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the evening because that's enough punishment. Having to listen to me grouse on and on about all kinds of different stuff. That's pretty much what this turns into. It just turns into me grousing about TV shows, old movies, that kind of stuff. Billy from BSG was on the show. Yeah. So again, like if you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're still on the fence, take a look at the video up here. Otherwise, take a look on my webpage, suspendedfanimation.com, for the schedule, or on Facebook. And other than that, I'm going to let you guys go for the evening. Thank you, everybody, for joining me in the chat. And thank you out there for watching if you got all the way through this. So until next time, which is going to be Thursday for Chloe, I'll see you then. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may just get it set to a really cool theme music by Mark Mothersbaugh, which isn't a bad thing. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.